Hey everyone, it's June 2nd, 2021. It's around 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm in the Lower East Side with a special guest. Where'd he go?
Oh, look at that. You should have seen your face. Yeah. Hey, what's up? I'm Tom. Nice to meet you.
Tom D NYC on YouTube. Check him out.
Yeah, Tom D NYC. Check out the channel. Subscribe and all that stuff. How you doing, Ken?
Yeah, pretty good. Where we're going to be walking to today?
Yeah, we're going to be walking through Chinatown. We're actually kind of on the eastern part of Chinatown. We're walking through all the main part, the Old Chinatown, etc. And we'll be covering all that today. It's going to be a good one. I have a good feeling about this. Real good feeling, Ken.
Yeah, let's do this.
I'm drinking coffee, so I'm feeling pretty good. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know if this is a good idea. Probably not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's okay. What do you think? Should we do this?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. I feel like people are going to be able to hear all my swallows through the mic. But you know what? That's okay. So we're leaving Seward Park right now. Seward Park is, well, it's named after, I guess, you know who William Seward is?
No, I don't.
So William Seward was the Secretary of State under Abraham Lincoln. And he's the guy who was actually responsible for buying Alaska for the United States. But there's an interesting story about Seward. So Seward, on the day that Lincoln was assassinated, the original plan was actually to assassinate Lincoln, Johnson, and Seward, and basically take the bottom out of the whole government. The assassination attempt on Andrew Johnson, the vice president, was aborted last second. And then, this is crazy, the attempt on Seward's life, someone showed up to Seward's house. He was sick at the time. And they pretended to be bringing him medicine.
Oh, wow.
They got into his house. The son, Seward's son, stopped the guy, realized that something was off, and the guy, like in the wrestling match, fired his shot in like the wrestling with his son, was able to get away from the son, ran into Seward's room, his bedroom, and stabbed him in the face, like multiple times, to the point where like Seward was scarred for the rest of his life. He survived, but he was scarred for the rest of his life because of this assassination attempt. Isn't that a crazy story?
Unbelievable.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's a true story. Anyways, that's Seward. That was Seward Park. Here, this is a cool building. Look. See that building, Ken?
I see that, yep.
You know what that is?
Some, what is that, Hebrew characters up there?
So this is the
Jewish
well, this
characters?
is a Jewish building. Yeah, it's called the Jewish Forward Building. The Jewish Forward Building was finished in 1912, and it was home to the Jewish Forward, which was actually a newspaper for the Jewish population here in New York. From the years like 1881 to like the 1920s, there was like 2.5 million Jews that came to the United States. A lot of them staying here in New York, and all this that we're in now is the Lower East Side. This was all basically Jewish.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, huh?
All this area, yeah.
Yeah, we were doing our Little Italy video, and we were remarking how a lot of the Italians, they don't live here anymore. Same thing with the Jewish.
Yes, so the Jewish people who came here, the dream once again is to move on from your neighborhood. Their descendants, their kids, their grandkids want to move on. So when they prosper, they move to other parts of New York. In the Jewish population's case, it was places like Harlem, it was places like the Upper West Side. So they moved and left this area.
Mm-hmm. Chinatown is still one of the original communities that kind of stayed.
Yes, because it's still growing.
Yeah.
That's one of the big reasons. The big reason is because there's still, Jewish. There's still a huge Chinese immigration coming in. That's why. Because all the people who leave are replaced. That's the important thing.
True.
So now we're walking on Canal Street.
Yeah, Canal Street, because there was actually a canal under here.
That's right, Ken. There was a canal here. They actually used the canal to drain the Collect Pond, which used to take up the space that we're going to be walking through later. The Chinatown area we're going to be walking through in here in a little bit. Collect Pond was like a 50-acre pond. It was humongous. There was actually an island in the middle of it at one point. So big. I can see all the cool architecture and stuff. We're starting to pop in. Canal Street, one of the main big east-west thoroughfares here in New York. Canal, Houston, 14th Street, 34th Street, 23rd Street, 42nd Street. They go two ways. Canal Street is a nightmare for traffic. Careful,
Oh,
there, Ken. I
yeah.
saw it. You almost
I know. Rode my bike through here, the scooter.
The traffic here is a nightmare, and the reason is because it takes you to the tunnel, the Holland Tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you took Canal all the way down, you get to Tribeca, which is triangle below Canal. Oh,
Look at that, huh?
Look at that. A little nickname, huh? Isn't that cute? What's not cute is the prices of the apartments there. But you take Canal all the way to Tribeca, and that's where the Holland Tunnel entrance is. So the traffic here is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. You've even done a video in Tribeca, right?
Nice work, Ken. Nice work. It's a great plug there. It's a nice, sick plug you just dropped. I did do a video of Tribeca.
Did you do a video of Little Italy?
I did.
You did?
I did. Actually, before pandemic, I did.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, so.
Yeah. Sure to check out the channel, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. Do little tours of the neighborhood. Me and Ken are both certified tour guides, certified New York tour guides.
Yeah. Got the same score on the tour guide test, but
That's
Tom
right.
knows a lot more than I do.
Yeah, you're the only person I've ever met.
Yeah, really? Wow.
The only person in the world as smart as me. I'm just kidding. Before people start typing away their comments, how much of a...
Whoa.
Someone's getting in trouble.
Got a little bit of a scuffle there on camera.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Usually that happens when people fight over who pays the bill.
Over who pays the bill?
Yeah. It's like that in China.
You mean like people fighting to be the one to be able to pay the bill?
You either pay it or like, it's like, I got it this time, whatever. I'll hit you.
That's funny. I always, if anyone ever argues with me to pay the bill, I'm always like, that's fine, you can just pay it.
Yeah,
I'm a real pushover. I'll take my wallet out and be like, can I pay? They'll be like, no, I insist. I'm like, all right. Who am I to argue with you? So anyways, we were talking about, so the Lower East Side, if you continue north, was all a Jewish neighborhood starting in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Jewish Forward building a Yiddish-speaking newspaper. Abraham Cahan was the guy who founded it in the late 1800s. We're kind of walking down Canal Street, and you can see all the Chinese lettering. Look at this, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, the firehouse.
Yeah, the dragon
Dragon
fighters.
fighters.
This is the
I love
firehouse
that.
here. Pretty cool, huh? If you're going to be part of a firehouse, you might as well be part of the dragon fighters, huh?
Why not?
Yeah, pretty cool. But Chinatown was actually pretty recent, phenomenon here. We were talking about how there's still immigration coming from China. It didn't come in such huge numbers in the 1800s. There were some here, some Chinese here, but not to the extent of any other immigrant group.
Yeah, it was mostly the Irish and the Italians here.
Yeah, so in the mid 1800s was like the real first massive waves of immigrants here in New York were really just the Irish and German. There were others, obviously.
Oh yeah, the Germans too.
The Germans came in huge numbers too. It was the Irish and the Germans who really dominated in the mid 1800s. And towards the end of the 1800s, you had the Eastern Europeans, the Jews, and the Italians. And then, there have been others since, obviously. But today, the big groups are the Chinese and the Mexican, actually.
Mm.
But the Chinese have been coming for a while now, for decades. The reason they first came was the mid-1800s. They came in small numbers, and it was to build the railroads, actually. Railroad companies would just go to China and be like, all right, everybody, who here wants some work? And they would basically bring over Chinese men to build these railroads. The biggest project was the Transcontinental, which was finished in 1870. And when that was finished, a lot of those men had nowhere to go. California was actually pretty racist towards the Chinese, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of them
I've
came
heard.
here. And that was kind of like the first push of Chinese here, and it was all men. There's only, some hundreds of them, which isn't a town at all. It's just a part of what was here before, the neighborhood that was here before, and that was the Five Points. The Five Points was going to be, we're going to get to that area here in a bit.
Yeah.
But that's like the area from Gangs of New York.
Yeah, the Gangs of New York movie, I saw that with the butcher.
Bill the Butcher, yeah.
Bill the Butcher.
Yeah, Bill the Butcher. Who, by the way, apparently Bill the Butcher was a real person.
Oh really?
Yeah, there was a real Bill the Butcher. They don't know if he was like that, but there was a real person. They called Bill the Butcher.
What a name to have, huh?
Pretty cool, right? What would your nickname be if you were in the 5 Points, Ken?
I don't know, man. I guess it'd be something related to action, right?
Yeah, or walking. Maybe
Walking.
they call you Twinkle Toes.
Yeah.
Ken Twinkle Toes.
Twinkle Toes.
Or Twinkle Toes Ken.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Twinkle Toes Ken is coming.
Ken walks a lot.
Ken walks a lot. But yeah, here we're sort of getting into more of Chinatown. We just walked in the east. This is all what they call New Chinatown. In fact, the Bowery is over here. It's the old Bowery Savings Bank. You can see there in the distance. But that's the Bowery, and that's kind of, they say, the dividing line between Old and New Chinatown. Old Chinatown is obviously where it all started.
Yeah.
New Chinatown is where a lot of the newer immigrants have been coming.
They're struggling though in New Chinatown. I've seen a lot of them like moving out to other parts of the city. That side is more of the people from the Fujian province.
Fujian, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They call East Broadway, which is right over here. They called it a Fuzhou Street.
Yeah.
Fuzhou is the capital.
Fuzhou.
Yeah. Yeah, Fuzhou. All right. My pronunciation's a little off. I'll give that to you.
I pronounce a lot of other things wrong too, so it's not.
So it's Fuzhou.
Yeah, Fuzhou.
Yeah. They call it Fuzhou Street.
A lot of them are moving to like Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn, Queens. So that's another thing too to keep in mind about Chinatown. We're gonna be walking through this. It's huge, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's one of 5 in New York. Arguably more, depending on what you could classify as a whole town.
Yeah, Flushing's the largest one.
Yeah, Flushing's huge.
Manhattan,
Elmhurst.
Chinatown, yeah.
Elmhurst. You have Sunset Park.
Sunset Park.
Avenue U.
Avenue U.
Yeah. In Brooklyn. This is pretty cool. Look. I like that.
Oh yeah, the Manhattan Bridge.
Yeah, this is Manhattan Bridge. This is entrance to Manhattan Bridge. This is a colony that was made in 1912 by Career and Hastings, actually.
Yeah.
The bridge was actually finished in 1909, but the entrance here, it actually used to be bigger. There used to be like a whole square there and everything. Career and Hastings are the designers, and they're the ones who, the architects of the New York Public Library. This is cool. This temple, the Mahayana Buddhist temple.
Yeah, Mahayana Buddhist temple.
I don't know if we're allowed in, but probably shouldn't go in, huh?
Yeah, because now we got to put on the mask and
yeah,
you can't even film in there.
Yeah, you can see that rooftop. That's 50 Bowery. That's like a new hotel that they opened. You can see that rooftop up there. It's actually a pretty cool rooftop.
Yeah.
A little overpriced, like most rooftops, but good view.
It's a pricey hotel.
Yeah. No shortage of those lately.
Hey, it might be a good hotel to stay if you want good food. There's like
yeah, I know.
tons
Go
of
to
good
China,
food
all over
places.
Chinatown.
And even Little Italy, right? You're right next to it.
Yeah.
For good food too.
You can see all the look. You can see Tribeca from here. You can see the 56 Leonard.
Yeah. The Jenga building.
The famous Jenga building. It's, fancy condos.
It's the intersection of Bowery and Canal. The
Yep.
start of the Manhattan Bridge.
Yeah, pretty cool. Bowery starts down there at Chatham Square, and it goes all the way up to basically Astor Place,
Yeah.
which is in the East Village.
Used to be the main road for the farmland.
That's right. That's why it's called Bowery. It used to be, I guess, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation too. Don't tell me you know how to pronounce Dutch
I don't
perfectly
know how
too.
to pronounce
You're going to
Dutch.
correct me on this. It's Bowerijge with a J at the
Bowerijge.
end. I don't know. But that means farm. And this used to take you out to the farms. One specifically, which was Peter Stuyvesant's farm out in the East Village. This and Broadway were two like the main north-south thoroughfares for a little while. And it also was like the Skid Row of New York. So like in the mid-1800s, Bowery was, you know, lots of art and vaudeville and music and shows, but after you know, a couple decades, it started to fall into disrepair. They put the elevated railways up there, and those kind of, you know, dragged down the property value, made them really scummy. So it was all like, you know, it was derelicts and drunks and prostitutes and stuff.
Well, the whole 5 Points neighborhood at the time really dragged this neighborhood down too.
Yeah.
It was like filthy, the sanitation wasn't
right.
good. And the collect pond came polluted too. So it was like a swampland.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is this whole neighborhood started out, the idea was to make it like suburban living. And part of that was to drain the collect pond so they could make houses and stuff. But they didn't realize that the pond was actually filling in from underground. So all the landfill and stuff just sank. It made it completely nasty. Yeah, it was a total mess. You know what's crazy is we did a video before this. Oh, look, little peek behind the curtain, guys.
Yeah.
See how the sausage is made. Ken and me just did a video before this too. We did the Little Italy video. And I didn't have a coffee then. I feel a million times better now. We can start seeing Mott Street here.
Oh yeah. This building on the corner here always impresses me.
It's a cool building, right?
Pagoda-looking building.
This was actually the home to one of the tongs of Chinatown.
Yeah.
I believe it was the An Leong Tong. There was two main ones. There's another one south on Pell Street. I think that's the Hip Sing.
Hip Sings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget which group controlled which street, but the An Longs control like Mott Street, and the Hip Sings were like another street.
Yeah. Look at that. It looks cool.
Yeah.
All the lanterns.
Yeah, this was like part of a community project to bring like more business to Chinatown during the pandemic.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. All these like businesses got together and like helped contribute. So that was kind of cool.
Looks good.
This is the oldest part of Chinatown on Mott Street.
Yep. This is Old Chinatown. So this here is where, like, you know, a little further south is where it kind of started in the 1800s, when it was all 5 points and the Chinese were settling among the groups that were already here, specifically the Irish. A ton of Irish back then, like the 1870s and whatnot. And then it expanded out, but it wasn't until later that it really expanded out. And one of the big reasons was because of racism. Go figure. And in the late 1800s, there was lots of there was prejudice towards immigrants, but a lot towards Chinese, because, well, the culture was so much more different than a lot of those European cultures. So things like in 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act was passed, which was a real law, one of the more unfortunate laws passed in U.S. government history. This is cool. This is the first Buddhist temple on the eastern seaboard, I read.
Look at that.
Pretty cool little storefront here.
Right there. Well, this is a different Buddhist temple, but just one of the branches of that same group, I guess.
Yeah, pretty cool. So anyways, the Chinese, the things like the Chinese Exclusion Act, they were pushed out of jobs that were reserved for other immigrants. Other immigrants were brutal with the Chinese even. Yeah. And it wasn't until after, so, and also too, in the 1920s, some quotas were passed, were put in place for immigration generally, because there was so much immigration in the early 1900s. People were very scared. Oh, history repeats itself, huh? And so they passed quotas, and then those quotas weren't lifted until the 1960s, and that's kind of when the floodgates opened.
That's where we ate.
Yeah.
Had some wonton noodles and some dumplings.
Yeah, we had some.
Be careful with that. I don't want to be in the
You see that guy?
I heard something about him not being in my film or whatever, but
Hey, I think he said he didn't want to be in your film. Not like you could see who he was anyway. He's
I
wearing
know,
like
no
10
one cares.
masks. Also, he's wearing like 10, no one sees anything.
yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. People can get pretty defensive about that stuff. I always wonder when people are so adamant, like they yell and they get angry.
I know.
It's like, are they like, you know, on the run, like fugitives from law or something?
So lively here today.
I know. So up here on the left is going to be Pell Street. Pell Street is kind of where it all kind of started. And it was really here, like if this was back then in the 5 points of the 1800s, it would all be just, first of all, it would all be chaos.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be very dirty, it was very dangerous, lots of fighting, lots of, you know, murder, etc. But this, when you walk through here, you would be walking through the Chinese businesses and restaurants. And it was really here and just down Mott to the end here. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's walk through here.
Yeah, let's go here.
We're gonna go down Doyers too.
Hey, when the 5 points was still here, all these streets had different names too.
Yeah.
The city didn't want to remember the 5 points anymore.
Yeah, it was pretty
so
bad. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. We'll see the actual 5 points here in a second. I don't know, I like Chinatown. I think the food here is great too.
Oh yeah, it's great.
This place is good. Joe's Ginger. You ever eaten here,
Yeah,
Ken?
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like this place.
The soup dumplings here are
Yeah.
great. A lot of people confuse it with Joe's Shanghai. But
Yeah.
They do have good food.
It moved from over
yeah,
there.
they moved.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like I've had people on like I have people ask me like, oh, Joe's Shanghai, because it's supposed to be really good for its soup dumplings. They're like, how would they know how to? The person's name is Joe, and it's like, yeah, he went by Joe because no one could pronounce his name. His name was like Q Sang or something, and he opened it actually in Queens originally, and then he moved to here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but he went by Joe because no one could pronounce his name.
Yeah.
So he just named it Joe's Shanghai. It's pretty funny. I'm butchering all the pronunciation, by the way.
Yeah.
It's K-I-U. What's that? Q?
K-I. I guess Q.
Oh, you don't know either.
I don't know either. I mean, there's different ways to pronounce things.
That's true. I guess you're right.
Even in Chinese.
So this is all Doyers. This is what they called the Bloody Angle. This was actually
Oh,
Anthony
yeah.
Doyers. This is like used to be the path to his distillery, which is why it's curved like this. But over here you have now Mott Tea Parlor. It's very famous. Like a dim sum place. There you go. That's what I was trying to get.
First
out.
dim sum place in
That's right, 1920.
city.
Should we keep walking?
There's where the Anlongs and the Hip Sings fought.
That's right. That's why
around
they
this
called it the
corner.
Bloody Angle. They called it the Bloody Angle because they would always fight here. They would always have their shootouts because it was curved, and there's always tunnels also underground as well.
Yeah. Supposedly the bloodiest street in America.
Yeah.
Although there's some like articles that dispute it.
Yeah, I bet there's got to be bloodier ones.
Yeah, but
Speaking of, this is
regardless, it's still bloody here.
yes, that's Hip Sing right there.
Yeah.
That's the Hip Sing. Yeah, you can see the sign.
Yep. Hip Sing Association.
I also saw somewhere that that street is haunted supposedly.
Oh, Doyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because so many people lost their lives here.
Yeah. You believe in ghosts, Ken?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there is some stuff we don't know about, huh? The stuff we can't possibly know. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, stuff creeps me out a little bit, to be honest.
There's also an entrance to one of the tunnels in Doyers inside like one of those buildings on
Yes.
Bowery.
Yeah. See this closed? The Aji Ichiban there?
Oh yeah.
The
That's sad.
yeah, that place was great. The little candy store. They used to
There are a
have.
lot of great places that closed, including
Yeah.
this one, Delight 28 restaurant.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah. I went here with all my like family gatherings and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
And it's
Oh no.
a shame.
Oh no.
Like
Yeah.
people would host their like wedding receptions here
Oh,
and stuff.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of places in the neighborhood closed. This one closed, I guess, kind of close to the beginning of the pandemic, but it was such a great little candy store. They had tons of like snacks you wouldn't get anywhere else, you know, like dried squid and things like
Yeah.
that. And you can go in there and you can just taste them.
I think this is the oldest structure here.
Yes, this is the Church of the Transfiguration. This was 1801, Ken. It's funny you
Look
should
at
mention
that.
it. 1801, and it was made originally as a Lutheran church. It was changed to an Episcopal church, but then in 1853 it was converted into a Catholic church because of the Irish in the neighborhood. Remember, this is back when it was 5 Points. But the interesting thing about it is that it's no longer Irish here. This is still around, and the neighborhood is occupied by people who aren't traditionally Catholic. So this building, this organization has had to shift its focus to converting the people around it. And it's been successful, actually. This is the largest Catholic Chinese congregation in the country. Do you know that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't it? Check it out. Pretty cool.
It's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah. Old little building.
Yeah. This is all around since the 5 Points. That's
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
back in the day.
Yep.
And here you have, this would take us down into the end here. First Chatham Square.
Yeah, Chatham Square.
Should we go over there?
Yeah, we can go there.
And then we'll cut back up towards the park.
Yep.
We go by some really cool restaurants.
There goes
Hop
the
Key.
One World Trade over there.
Yeah.
Got some legendary establishments here. Hop Key, Wool Hop, they've been here forever.
Yeah. And they actually like, so Wohop, for example, set out to be like Americanized Chinese. That's what they were actually looking to make.
Yeah.
So they can make a good, you know, they can make some money.
They have two locations, Wool Hop in the basement and then Wool Hop next door.
Right, right, right.
Different menus.
It's interesting too because people forget that like the Chinese food is a huge part of just American cuisine. You know, in the United States at least, as it is in many places, it's like the default food. You know, it's like, what are we gonna eat tonight? Oh, we'll just eat Chinese. And that's because there's so many of them, right?
Yeah, aren't there like so many Chinese takeout restaurants, like more than McDonald's?
Yeah. There are
That's
actually, for every, here's a little fun fact. Should I fill in that?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. For every McDonald's in the United States, there's 3 Chinese restaurants. You know that? It's a pretty crazy fact, huh? Well, one of the reasons is that when the Chinese came here, they were actually greeted with so much discrimination, even from other immigrant groups. That they had a hard time. They had a hard time finding jobs and things. So they started. A lot of the men started just to open restaurants because they weren't going to be met with competition from other immigrant groups for that. So they just opened restaurants. They also did other things like laundromats. Because other immigrant men didn't want to do that, so they didn't went into the laundry business. Kind of interesting how like the circumstances. You know, this is Chatham Square here. Kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a big intersection here. Mott Street, Bowery, St. James Place, and Park Row.
Yeah. That's a Chinese, the statue is a man who fought hard to protect the Chinese people from the opium trade.
Lin Zexu, that's his name.
Lin Zexu, there you go. I didn't want to butcher the name.
I might even be butchering it now. It might be Zexu or Su or Shu, I don't know.
Yeah. Are you ever, you know about him?
Yeah, I know about him.
Yeah, he's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And then you have right in front, the buildings in front are the...
Would you like one?
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. And then the buildings in front are the Confucius Plaza. Mm-hmm. Another famous figure.
Yeah, he's the one who says, if Confucius says.
Confucius say?
Yeah. And everyone listens to him like, oh, he's this old guy. It must be important, right?
That's right. That's
Confucius
exactly right.
says, do good.
So now we're walking over to Mulberry. Mulberry, if you take it north of Canal, you get into Little Italy. But this is kind of the, this is also kind of the funeral district. That's the word I'm looking for, funeral district, which is kind of cool. You'll see some of the stuff here. It's not cool that it's a funeral district, okay? I'm not saying it's cool for people to die or anything. I'm saying that it's
I've been here more times than I admit all these funeral parlors.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been to funerals here?
Yeah, I've been to funerals in there.
So you can see the funeral parlors, but you also see some cool stuff. I like the funeral supply stores. Show one of those. Oh, and also this is Columbus Park.
Yeah. Used to be the 5 Points Center.
That's right. So the 5 Points was actually on the other corner over there. It's Baxter. It used to be this Moscow, and then Worth coming in on one side, creating 5 Points. They were named differently back then.
Yeah. I think Worth was Anthony, and this one
Orange,
was Park.
Yeah. So we'll go over here. I think this is kind of cool.
Yeah, the funeral supply store.
So you buy these things with the idea of burning them. These are like representations of like mansions and, you know, stuff for your teeth.
What's CRCST?
I guess it's a makeshift crest.
Chris.
It's supposed to be
You brush your teeth with that, you have no teeth left.
That's right. You have these, so you burn these with the deceased in funeral pyre, and they get the real version of these things in the next life. That's the whole idea. Kind of interesting. So you have like mansions, you have the security guards for your mansions, you have cars. Kind of cool.
What's Guinness?
Ganins. That's really funny. Heineken.
We should market these.
That's really funny. Heineken.
Start a whole store with English products.
That's right. Heineken.
We'll have like Cuckoo Cola.
Coca-Cola, Popsy.
Popsy.
So this park is kind of interesting because this park was actually built to replace what used to be the kind of center of the 5 Points. This was like the center of it. This is the worst part of the whole neighborhood. Have you ever seen the movie Gangs of New York when like Leo's,
Yeah.
putting the dead rabbit and all that stuff? That was right here. It was called like Paradise Square. It was like the real just intersection. It was the worst. So throughout the 1800s, because it was so terrible, the city like started to push. Reformers started to push to change it, and it culminated in making this park in 1897.
Yeah.
Back then, it was actually called Mulberry Bend Park. This is where Mulberry Bend's.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, there you go.
That's right.
That's right. And then in 1911, they renamed it Columbus Park because of the Italians. There were so many here.
True.
And Columbus was Italian.
You know what's still bad in this park are the public restrooms. They're horrible.
They're disgusting. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't go in there unless you have to. And
Yeah.
there's 2 bathrooms in here. They're both bad.
Not many very nice public restrooms in parks in New York, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although Bryant Park is the big exception to that rule.
Yeah. Did you go to the one in Little Island?
No, was it nice?
Oh, that thing's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. It's like you're in a cave.
In a cave, huh?
Yeah.
It's not a cave filled with pee, is it?
No.
Because a cave's not necessarily a nice thing, Ken. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
There's a new hotel, Hotel Mulberry.
All right. Want to go in this park?
Yeah, let's go.
I like this place a lot. This is a really cool park.
You get to see all the old folks hanging out here playing
playing
Chinese chess and
Yeah.
mahjong and doing
Xiang-
exercise. too.
Xiangqi, right?
Yeah.
Am I butchering that?
Yeah. Pocket 2. I know. Check it out. Pocket 2 it's called. Yeah. Yeah, people are impressed when they see this thing.
It is kind of weird looking
Yeah.
camera. So tiny. So this is cool. You see all the guys playing Xiangqi. How do you pronounce it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Xiangqi.
Shan.
Chinese chess.
Yeah.
And they're gambling, which is illegal in New York. Especially when you're doing it in front of the main criminal courtrouse in the whole city.
Oh yeah.
Which
look
is
at
that building right there. But they're just like, whatever, we don't care,
Yeah.
so they
Why
just do
not?
it.
Oh, they're playing cards too.
They're playing cards, they're playing Xiangqi. Well, look at this, look at this freaking jumping,
This
man.
is this is more active right now than
I
like
haven't
Central
seen
Park.
I haven't seen it like this in a long time.
People are really into it now. The guy's like sitting on top of the table too.
Yeah, just be careful that they say something about your camera, dude.
Yeah, I know. Look at that, they got the dealer here. Oh, they're playing poker. Well, maybe that's blackjack.
I remember I've seen a few fights here because
Yeah.
of people filming and taking pictures.
I know.
I remember once I just walking through here and there's this guy just standing there, just bloodied, just covered in blood. And it's
Yeah.
because they just got into a fight over all this stuff.
Woo!
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
intense. I guess when you're gambling and money's involved, people get all.
I know. What is it in blackjack? A basic strategy is don't hit if you're 17 or up.
16 or up, I thought.
16 or up?
I thought
don't
so.
know.
Yeah, I think even in blackjack too, people get mad at you if you don't go with those strategies. Other people playing the game will get mad.
Oh wow.
Did you know that?
Gosh.
What should we do? Should we go over this way or should we go down this way?
Yeah, let's go this way, up here.
We don't want to go through the 5 points?
Yeah, we can come back around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of good like Vietnamese restaurants here.
Harley, baby.
Yeah.
Sick.
Look at that.
What's kind of cool is that Chinatown is still kind of Chinese, you know, even though Manhattan has gotten so expensive. Chinatown has kind of been able to preserve itself a little. One of the reasons is because so many of the buildings and things are owned by Chinese people.
Yeah,
And they
that's what
kind of-
happened. Like
yeah.
the Hip Sings and On Longs, they bought up, properties and
Yeah. But also too, like they kind of look out for their own. Like when there are new families coming in, there's new immigrants to replace old people, old vacancies and things. So they're able to kind of keep it Chinese.
yeah. We're in front of the main criminal courthouse,
Yeah, and then the detention center.
detention center. They call this the Tombs.
Yeah. And then they transport prisoners through there. I'll be walking through here sometimes, and people will, flick you off as they're walking through.
Oh gosh.
I don't blame them. They're probably not too happy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, we gotta get out of here.
those two like.
Man, there's a lot going on here today.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's an action-packed day. I'm still surprised at Columbus Park. How many people were out?
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
This is the civil courthouse over here.
Yeah, where
the
people
street.
get married over here? To the left, you mean?
No, this one.
Oh, this one to the
This
right.
is the civil courthouse.
Oh, right. And
The
here,
marriage one, I think, is over there.
yeah, up there in the corner. And then here
Yeah.
to the left is also when they were trying, what's his face? Weinstein.
Oh,
Harvey
yeah.
Weinstein. That was right here.
That's
I remember
right.
I'd walk by and there was just all the cameras and stuff. This is this video is a Harvey Weinstein production, right?
Oh, yeah.
The
For
Weinstein
sure.
Company.
Oh, yeah, there's Collect Pond Park across the street.
Yeah, Collect Pond Park. Named
So at
after
least
the
there's
park.
some history of it.
Yeah, they're acknowledging it.
Except they
Colonel
rarely turn the fountain on, though.
Yeah.
They should.
You can see the municipal building in the distance. That's one of my favorite buildings in New York.
Oh, yeah.
I love that building.
I incorrectly said it was the Statue of Liberty on top of it.
One
And,
of Ken's most notorious mistakes ever made.
Yeah, it was on a previous walk we did, like a few months ago.
That was a live one we did, right?
No, it wasn't.
Was it?
It wasn't.
Oh, okay. Ken said
I left that in there.
the statue on top is actually called Civic Fame. It's a female depiction of fame holding a crown of 5 points. It symbolizes the 5 boroughs. And it's supposed to indicate what we as humanity can accomplish when we unite in peace and harmony.
Yeah. It's not the same one that sits in the
Beautiful.
New York Bay there.
No, it's not. It's not the one that's, one of the most famous statues of all time. It's not that one, Ken, sorry. The Statue of Liberty. But yeah, that was actually, so this building, I mentioned that because it was built for the consolidation, after the consolidation of New York, which happened in 1898 when all the 5 boroughs were created.
We got some the ambulance and fire trucks coming this
Yeah.
way.
All right.
Maybe not.
How you been, Ken? How you feeling?
Pretty
Tired?
good. You still full from the lunch we had?
We ate at the, was it Wonton Garden?
Yeah, HK Wonton Garden.
Yeah, I thought that ambulance was for me here in a second. Pretty bad case of indigestion here.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good though.
This building, you go in to get like your birth certificate
Yeah.
and stuff.
And then this one's for marriage certificates.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting too. Like they used to have they would come out, the couples would come out, and they always had like flower salesmen and stuff right here in the corner. People would get their.
You got the 3 main points of life here: birth, marriage, and death. You can get your death certificate.
That's
here
right.
too.
That's right. Birth certificate, death certificate. You come here to get your death certificate? Is that what you said? Hi, I'd like 1 death certificate, please. Okay. Thank you. Well, I guess we're almost done here with Chinatown. Should we go over there and
Yeah.
end it at the corner?
Let's go ahead. Yep.
But Chinatown's cool. It's like a really I guess it's nice because it's still Chinese. It's still like a reminder that there are, still immigrants coming into New York. The Chinese immigration, the group has just recently been surpassed as the fastest growing by the Mexican population in New York, which is growing super fast.
Oh yeah.
And today there aren't a ton of neighborhoods like this in Manhattan anymore because it's gotten so expensive. This is one of the exceptions. But you go out to Brooklyn or Queens, you see lots of places like this. Mm-hmm. In fact, have you walked through Elmhurst?
Yeah, I walked the Elmhurst.
You walk from Chinatown to the Mexican
Yeah,
area?
it
That's the
is.
coolest thing. It's like, they're separated from like a 5-minute walk between.
It's funny. There really isn't a neighborhood called like Little Mexico in
No.
New York. I guess
But the
it's
thing,
just
you know why
around.
though? I think it's because in the neighborhoods that are like little Mexicos, it's not just Mexico.
Yeah,
it's
it's
always Colombian and Ecuadorian.
Ecuadorian, yeah. All mixed.
So it's all mixed. The neighborhood I live in Ridgewood, is like that. Mm-hmm. Which I just did a video on.
Yeah. Another sick plug.
That's right. And then this federal courthouse was where they did the Deflate Gate. You remember that with Tom Brady?
Oh yeah.
That's where they'd have him come out and stuff. And Ghislaine Maxwell too, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, also being tried here. Kind of nuts.
That's a big book you're holding there in the back of your pants.
It is, I know, it's pretty obvious. It's called, appropriately enough, Walking New York.
Oh,
Pretty good. Reflections of American Writers from Walt Whitman to Teju Cole. And they basically just talk about what it's like to walk around New York. Pretty good book. That was
cool,
a nice
wow.
little, yeah. I just don't like carrying it in my hand.
yeah.
Does it look ridiculous? I guess you're,
Nah, a little bit. I just noticed it now, so.
all right. Here we go, back to Columbus Park. This
Yep.
was the 5 points here. Worth used to come in on one side, Baxter came down, and what Moscow over there used to be something else that came down, made an X. That was then cut in with on one side from what's now Worth. Broadway?
Broadway
Broadway's that way.
is-
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to turn around.
yeah.
All right.
That's a good way to end the tour.
I know,
Give
we
someone
helped two
directions.
people today in directions.
That's right, and you told someone about your camera, which was great.
Yeah.
So we accomplished something.
All right, folks. We're going to end the video here. Please smash the like button for us. Check him out, Tom
Yeah,
NYC on
subscribe,
YouTube.
please.
He's awesome. And yeah, we'll see you next
We did it.
time.
We did it.
Take
See y'all
care.
later.